I am Margot Kelly. I just graduated Ipswich High School and I'm 18 years old. I think I joined the end of my sophomore year, maybe the beginning of my junior year. I remember my first Climate Cafe being in a barn and we were talking about food and we got to pick carrots. And I don't really remember. Yeah, it was really, really fun. I think that was the most interactive cafe I've been to in my 3 years.
Yeah.
It's definitely helped me most with my confidence.
Yeah.
My first Climate Cafe that I was ever a part of, as a presenter, was the Great March Coalition with 150 people.
Yeah.
And that was just throwing me into the lion's mouth, which is fine because it was great. And through this, I've definitely gotten better with public speaking and improvising. Definitely improvising. So yeah, I think it really helps you become a more sociable person because you have to talk to strangers all the time. It's the people and the experience of making them, because everyone who's a part of the Climate Cafe team is so invested in what we do. And I think it was just that enthusiasm that really, I don't know, made me feel happy to be a part of it for so long. I would hope that there's more students of different ages that do them, starting from even middle school, honestly, 8th grade, just being immersed in it and not necessarily participating to the extent that the older kids do, because I get that it can be intimidating and scary, but at least just involving younger kids and having it be a community generational experience. I really had so much fun planning it and setting it up and stuff, and it also helps I don't know, it helps you feel like you're an actual member of the Climate Cafe team rather than just an audience member that comes from time to time. So I would have told her to try helping to plan them from an earlier start. I don't think I have one. I mean, definitely the farm that I just mentioned, and then also that Irwa Cafe, because the location was so cool. It was in I actually don't know where it was. Was it in the biolabs? Cell signaling technology, and it was a jungle inside, and that was so cool. And then also the Great March Coalition, because there's so many people. I mean, honestly, all of them. Even the Zoom one that we just had, because that was so cool that we were able to do it from different towns at the same time. So, I think my biggest concern in general for all three of those is something that we talk about in the Climate Cafes a lot, and it's about how we just don't have a general respect for each other, I guess. I feel like our society is really limiting in empathy at the moment and communication, which is why I think the Climate Cafes are so good, because they highlight communication and they allow you to get stronger in verbal skills and, most importantly, listening skills. The video Sherry just sent the other day, I was watching it this morning about how there's 4 different levels of listening, and I didn't even think about that, and nobody does. This is France. My high school environmental teacher has helped me oh my gosh, in so many different ways. I cannot thank her enough for all she's done for me. I hope that I've shown it by being a respectful student. I think one of the things that is most important is what Sherry does, and when she emails so many different articles and videos. Really appreciate the fact that she's both sending them and the fact that I'm taking the time to watch and read them, because they always contribute to a better understanding of what it means to be a community member or a student or environmentalist. And so I think taking the time to search out these different resources and then sharing them with people that I think either need them or could benefit from them is definitely one small thing I could do. I think that being an active participant in your classes is something that students should definitely try to utilize, because we have this opportunity of public education and great quality education, and we're not really taking advantage of that. And so sharing our different perspectives in class can contribute to a deeper value of respect and allowing us to have these deeper conversations while in class. I'm a very active person. When I'm not doing something either educational or environmental related, I don't feel like I'm living my life to the fullest, I guess. And so I've very much worked myself into the ground these past couple of years through high school and through everything that I've been doing. But not that COVID is good, obviously it's awful, but the whole quarantining has been really good for me. mentally and emotionally. Like, I used to be an avid reader, and then I stopped when high school happened, and now I've, like, picked that up. And I went to the beach this morning just for an hour just to, like, sit and watch the sky, which was, like, something I would never consider doing pre-COVID-19. Just because I think quarantining in itself makes you, like, reflect individually, because you can't be with people, you can't see your friends and people that you hang out with all of the time, and so it allows you to, like, reinvent your connection with yourself. And so I think that I've definitely helped myself just, like, listen to what I need, if that makes sense, and just take a second to breathe. Okay, so my friends think I'm, like, crazy because I have, like, such a strict routine all the time. Like, in the mornings, like, I do the same thing every single day, and if I don't do it, like, I can't. I mean, breakfast is, like, my favorite thing right now. I make great breakfast. This morning I had spinach with, like, goat cheese, and oh my god, it's so good. But, like,
we have a chef on our hands over here.
Yeah, I've become a chef over quarantine. But only with breakfast foods. I can't do it with anything else. But yeah, so that, and then I read all the time now. I've read like 15 books in the past like 3 months, which for me is a lot. So I play the clarinet, which is like the band geekiest instrument you could ever pick up. And it's like honestly been the hardest thing I've ever done in my entire life. Because when I moved to Ipswich when I was in 6th grade, so everyone else was already like really good at their instruments, and I wasn't, because my old town was not good in music education. And so it's just been like this constant struggle for me of like wanting to quit and then not quitting. And so the past 4 years though, my band teacher, Mr. Lee, for some reason like really believed in freshman year Margot, and I've like done exceedingly well. But like sometimes you gotta just go for it even if you don't think you're ready, and then you end up surprising yourself, because I did not think I was ready for any of that, and then I did it. My favorite qualities of myself? I think I'm very dedicated. And sometimes that's not a favorite quality of myself. Like I said before, like I work myself too hard sometimes, but I also don't let things go by unfinished. And I'd like to say I'm a caring person. I don't know if that sounds like vain at all, but like, I don't know. I try to care a lot. Yeah. I don't like spaghetti. That's just something. Oh, I'm taking a gap year. It's not something I wanted to do really, but given the pandemic and everything that's just been going on, I think it's a good thing for me to be doing. So I'm going to be interning at Seaside Sustainability, which I interned at before, but I'm going to be going back. And I'm really hoping that there's going to be a vaccine of some sort before like maybe next June. So I will be able to travel, hopefully. I have family members in England, so hopefully I can go live with them for a bit. I'm definitely hoping to like mature in some way and like get out of like my high school zone that I've been dedicated to. Well, I guess one thing, and for like Climate Cafe promotion, is I talked about climate cafes and I broadcasted it to people like all the time, like relentlessly. Like, so don't be afraid to like not talk about the things that you love to like an obsessive point. Like I sounded obsessive about the things that I love because I cared about them and like I wanted people to know about them and like try them out. So even if you sound like a crazy person sometimes, just talk about the things that you love. What I was saying earlier with like my routines, like I love those and like those are good for me, but like sometimes I think I just need to be like, I'm gonna do this crazy thing today and then I'm gonna do it. And like sometimes for me crazy things are like, one day I was like, I'm gonna be crazy over quarantine, and I learned how to knit. So like for me that's like, you know, crazy because I didn't do a good job. But I think my point is that I'm gonna try to like not confine myself to like the same things every day, and like not try to confine myself to a plan. Like be exhilaratingly courageous and play solo.